Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at a Qoifa Spirit Breaker gameplay. But the purpose of today's video is really to show you guys what to do on Spirit Breaker. This hero is getting picked quite a bit right now, but I think a lot of people are just playing it wrong. In fact, I know a lot of people are playing it wrong. This hero has really hard timings. There's periods in the game of Spirit Breaker where you are absolutely unstoppable. However, they generally come later into the game. And Spirit Breaker has the same problem that a Nature's Prophet has, which is the lowest win rate hero in Dota. His problem is he can do literally anything. And when you can do literally anything, you're probably gonna grief the game. So let's talk about how not to grief the game.
By the way, guys, if you want to become absolutely broken, well, what you need to do is sign up to the GAMELEAP website down below right now. The reason why you should do that is because every single day we post a new video there. Content that you simply just will never get on YouTube, we post every single day to the website. It's really top tier stuff. I'm very proud of what I make over there. We also have other creators, many of my great friends who are top tier Dota players, creating guides about different heroes, different roles, different items, skill builds, talent builds, everything you need to know to get to the next rank. So if you feel a little bit lost, you're a little bit stuck, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there. And now let's get into the video.
All right, so the first thing I want to mention is that we're looking at a core replay, okay? And this is really important because funny enough, on Dota 2 Pro Tracker, I'll actually show you it real quick. Funny enough, this hero's win rate is actually best as a support, at least on Dota 2 Pro Tracker. Of course, this isn't necessarily what it's going to be in pubs, but it's highest on Dota 2 Pro Tracker and lowest for all the core roles. All right, you could forget carry. This is like no matches. He's mostly picked as an offlaner and as a 4, and you could see it's a 6% win rate difference. It's very significant. In fact, his mid win rate is trash. I actually don't like this hero mid very much, but regardless, we're going to be watching him mid, and you might be like, oh, that's counterintuitive. No, I just want to show you a couple of the key things because I think Qoifa plays this hero. Like, I've watched him play it a couple times now, and the way he plays, in my opinion, is the way most people should play. And so let's go over the fundamentals that make this work. All right, the first one is charging side lanes. Now, it doesn't matter. This is mainly going to be for core, right? If you're a support, let me just honestly give the basics for support before you even move on to the core gameplay, because this is mostly going to be about core. But basically, if you're a support, guys, just charge a lot. Like, the more you charge, not the better, obviously, but like, kind of, because it gives vision, right? The thing about charge is it gives vision around the target that you're charging. It baits rotations, it sets up plays. You kind of just want to charge a lot. Like, the more you charge, the more attention you drag to yourself, the better. And as a result, as a support, the way most people play Spirit Breaker in general is better. However, the problem is, and the reason why I actually like talking about how you should play support, is people play core the exact same way. The exact same way. And they do it in games where their team doesn't need the space. In fact, they do it in games especially when their team can't even use the space. And this is the key. You can't run around and just charge people off cooldown when your team can't follow it up. And that's what most people do. In fact, this is even sort of a good example of a clip. I get why he makes this play. This is not a bad play, but it's still, regardless, is a good example of a clip where Spirit Breaker just doesn't do enough damage. People are like, oh my god, this hero does way too much damage. It does like 30 minutes into the game, but in this clip here, he doesn't get a lucky bash, and he dies because of it. And frankly, that happens all the time. So what I would say, what you should stick to, is two things. Number one, if you have ulti, go for a kill. It does a lot of damage, go for a kill, okay? Just basically on the closest person to you, if you have a +1, you'll kill them. Okay, and then the second one is look when the opponents are close to your tier 1s. If the opponent is here, or here, or here, or on the other side of the map, close to your tier 1, tier 1, tier 1, that's going to set up for a good charge. You're going to be able to run them down. Unfortunately, in this game, there wasn't a great opportunity for that up until, up until this point, but that's what you want to look for. That's how you're going to get a lot of kills and not show up and dive a tower and feed like a lot of Spirit Breakers do. Upcoming here is my favorite sequence of the game from Qoifa, and frankly, I pray you look to reciprocate or replicate the exact scenario I'm about to show you as much as humanly possible. It's 15 minutes into the game, they just had a decent fight in the top side. He's having a bit of a rough match. If we look at the net worth, he's not terrible, he's doing alright, he's above the Enigma, but it's not great. His game is average, okay? It's average. What does he do? He goes to the side lane, charges through, clears up the wave. It's very easy to clear waves. If you're not familiar with the current Spirit Breaker, basically all you need to know is that you can click most active movement speed items while you're charging. You can even bottle while you're charging. So right before you hit the creep wave, you activate your phase boots. It does a ton of damage to the creeps because Greater Bash does 50% bonus damage to creeps, and you clear the wave. This, in my opinion, is the biggest advantage of the hero. And the reason why it's the biggest advantage is because you can actually farm. I think this is the only reason the hero is a good core, because you can actually farm and you scale great with items. So you'll see in this clip here, look what he does. He farms up the wave, goes over to the small camp, auto attacks it to death, which is not fast, but you kind of need to farm on this hero, then starts clearing up this camp. What you want to do to farm as most efficiently as possible is even the damage on the creeps, right? Even the damage on the creeps. You'll see he does that, right? He spreads it out and then charges through. I don't know why he didn't hit this one. He's griefing a little bit, but you get the point. You even it out and then you charge across, and you can kind of rinse repeat this over and over and over again, and you're going to get very, very farmed. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Speed, all you do is farm. All you ever tell us to do is farm. No, that's not the point. The advantage here of Spirit Breaker is the fact that when you farm, you can still show up to fights, right? You can do both. And the big thing I just want to mention to you guys is that you really want to farm in the early game because Shadowblade is your biggest timing. Until you have Shadowblade, I feel like you just don't do enough damage on this hero most of the time. Like, you just don't. However, when you get Shadowblade, you actually do enough burst damage and just simply have enough right-click damage to actually kill people. And you'll see that in this clip here. It really does matter. So as you're going to go in, the execution's very simple. You click Bulldoze, then you click your Phase Boots, then you click your Shadowblade. Your charge is going to do about 300 damage, and your first auto attack out of Shadowblade is also going to do bonus damage. So essentially the concept is you do a lot of bonus damage, and this lets you burst through heroes. And that's what he's going to go for here. Unfortunately, he decided that he had to kite out. His team wasn't in the best of position, so he waited for a nice glimpse onto the Lina, saved his ulti, controls her, and almost secures the kill. I think they eventually end up killing Shaker. Yeah, eventually they take down the Shaker. But that's the gist. You want to get your Shadowblade. It lets you complete charges, right? They won't get canceled because you're invis. And then after that, go back to farming. I know I'm repeating myself here, but you have to do this. If you do not play like this, the games will feel shit. You'll be like, how in the world is this popular? If all you do is fight on this hero, you're going to feed. Now, keep in mind, if you were having the greatest game of all time, you're owning. Okay? You know, you're owning. You somehow won your lane miraculously, even though this hero doesn't really dominate lane. I mean, it can with like Grimstroke, but usually it doesn't dominate its lane, and you're just winning fight after fight. By all means, keep fighting, okay? But most games aren't like that. they aren't like that. And the thing is, your hero is a menace in side lanes. It's a menace in side lanes because look at this clip here. He's going to go over to the creep wave, and if you click Bulldoze, Phase Boots, and Shadowblade, you one-shot the wave. You one-shot the wave, you're invis with Bulldoze. You're not going to get caught, guys, and so you can take the most dangerous farm on the map. This is the biggest advantage of the hero, and I'm not just saying that. Maybe have I said that already for something else? I don't know, but like, you get the point. This is the biggest advantage. I really strongly feel that way, and most players don't take advantage of this at all. And over again, I'll move on to the fun portion of the game so we can get into like the, max movement speed charges. But really, just notice how a huge percentage of this game is him charging side lanes over and over and over again. And he goes Aghs almost every game, at least every game that I've watched him. He buys Aghs second item, and I genuinely believe it's because even when he thinks he needs BKB, he doesn't buy it, and because he wants to scale. And Aghs is the item that lets you scale because it makes your charge a 7-second cooldown. And now, just to show off why I really think it's important that you scale, you just take a look at this team fight. His team is obviously losing. The enemy team has hit a lot of timings. The Dusa in particular has Scotty, and she's coming into the fight now. And Lina has her BKB. I think Enigma has Blink BKB. So it's actually very hard to fight the enemy team right now, where his team doesn't have nearly as many important timings. I mean, they have basically, their only timing is like Aghs on, right? It's Aghs on Morphling, which I think he's using primarily with Spirit Breaker, but he doesn't even get to use it this fight. And you'll kind of see that his impact this fight, if we watch the Spirit Breaker, it's honestly almost nothing. And the thing is, you're just not tanky enough yet. So like, you can't really go on most overfarmed heroes. Now, the thing is, if you stick to what I'm saying and you actually farm in your pubs, most people aren't going to be as farmed as the enemies you're currently watching. I mean, he's playing against the best of the best, and they're playing flash farm heroes. They're playing Lina and Medusa, heroes that can actually get pretty tanky early on if you hit enough creeps. All right, now you've hit your timing, all right? It's 24 minutes in. Hopefully you guys can get it around 22 if you're a god. You can even get it earlier. I think I've gotten one at minute 19 before. It feels really good when you can get that. But regardless, this is when you really come online. You're gonna click all your buttons, remember, Bulldoze, Phase Boots, Shadow Blade, and you can just kind of kite out, kite out, kite out. Keep in mind the targets you want to prioritize are the heroes you can burst. Don't try to lock down the really tanky heroes, just burst the people you can burst. You'll see in this clip here, they just completely changed on this Lina. It's hilarious, and this is why the Aghs is so strong. It lets you play the way you want to play, which is in and out, and in and out. And now, as we watch the fight end, guys, I want to ask you a question. What do you think he's going to do now? Huh? What do you think he's going to do now? Oh, baby, even with 400 HP and 100 mana, your boy is running down the side lanes. It goes even as far as he pushes out the next wave. There's a tier 1 there. He doesn't care. Give me my creep wave, baby. Push your shit out. Keep in mind, if you're not going to use your Shadow Blade to one-shot the wave, or you don't have enough mana, or you just, it's on cooldown, then one thing you can do to be a little bit efficient is you can prep down the creeps. We kind of talked about this earlier, but if you hit all the melee creeps once, then you click Phase Boots, Bulldoze, you can clear the wave in one go. Let's talk about the items that he goes, and then we'll get into one of the final fights. We'll also talk about the talents very briefly. So, in terms of items, you go Shadow Blade into Aghs. After that, you kind of have to determine how the game's going. If you need a BKB because they have 18 Yuleses, and you're starting to team fight a lot, which you should when you have your Aghs, then go BKB. If the game is static and you're farming a lot more, you're charging a ton of side lanes, then Yashikaya is one of the best items in the game. It gives you plenty of mana, it gives you movement speed, it makes you do a lot of damage and basically be able to infinitely farm. It feels great if you want to keep snowballing. Finally, he goes his Shard, which he bought pretty early on into the game, especially if there's a hero you need to break. Apparently people are buying it. I honestly don't feel like it's insane, but it is an extra 200 damage nuke, which can help you kill people from full. The thing is, do not prioritize this over something like an Aghs timing or over a BKB timing. Hit these major timings instead, but if you're not close to either of them, then you can pick up the Shard. Next, we have talents. Generally level 10, people do not take the talent, they just completely skip it until their level 15 talent, which is almost always Bulldoze cooldown. At level 20, you take 200 Charge of Darkness movement speed. It lets you one-shot waves even faster, split the map, etc, etc. It's just everything you need on this hero. Moving around the map quickly and making the game high tempo is kind of how you play the hero. It's also just how you do damage. Talking about damage, at level 25, you also take the 25% greater bash damage talent. 800 HP, while it's nice, you have plenty of HP already. And if you're gonna die, you're probably gonna die anyway. Yes, 800 is a ton, but at this point of the game, the extra greater bash damage, once again, lets you kill supports from full. And in team fights, you want to be killing supports from full HP. You can do it almost every single time, and you should. All right, upcoming here is my favorite part of the game. So his Morphling just die-backed. Like, he completely fed, and Cliff is like, yep, all right, let's just stall the game. Time to stall the game. And that's exactly what he's gonna do. You just run around, and optimally also, guys, get spider legs. This item's insane. You can use the active while you're charging for even more movement speed. It's just such a broken item on Spirit Breaker. But yeah, you just cut all the waves. After he cuts bottom, he's like, all right, what's up next? Let's go mid. Let's cut the mid wave. Well, actually, oh yeah, I thought he tried to cut the mid wave. Turns out he was charging top, which accidentally cuts the mid wave and then clears top wave. It's just like, dude, this is like the fastest farming hero in the game at this point in the game. I'm not even kidding. You're unironically almost the fastest farming hero in the game. No joke. And it doesn't stop you from fighting at all. In this team fight here, he pops the BKB of the Earthshaker. Naturally gonna pop BKB to disengage from the Lina. Keep in mind, you don't really man up too well. Once again, you kind of have to kite. You can man up when someone's isolated, or if they're low HP like the Spirit Breaker is here. And yeah, he has a pretty solid fight here. All right, now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the OS Frog charge, okay? The charge can do about 1,000 damage at this point in the game, if you click all your buttons right. So once again, you charge, you click Bulldoze, Phase Boots, Spider Legs, then Shadow Blade to make sure none of them cancel the Shadow Blade, and doosh! 1,000 damage, baby, just like that. And the thing is, in your average pub, people are going to be a lot more isolated, so after you charge them, you're going to be able to just auto-attack them down as well. In this case, you can't really do that because people are constantly grouped up, but usually you should be able to. Nonetheless, he ends up getting gone on here. He does get bursted down, but with a simple buyback, he's able to charge through, kill the Lina, kite out, and rinse repeat as they eventually kill the Medusa I think they kite her out and kill her here. Eventually, it takes them a little bit, but they bring her down as they just, oh my god, the bashes. What? You can charge couriers? What? Wait, what? It must be the Aghs. So when you have Aghs, you can charge couriers? What? That's broken. What the fuck? All right, we'll end the video there. You learn something new every day. Actually, if you watch GameLeap videos, you learn something new. Well, yeah, every day, but all the time. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're inspired to play some Spirit Breaker. I know I am. Just remember, keep the side lanes in. Keep the side lanes in. People fight too much. I swear, man, I've tried playing this hero where I just fight all the time as a core. It feels awful. It feels so bad, and it doesn't mean you can't fight. You just have to look for gaps. Be patient. Wait for the enemy team to overextend. Wait for someone to be separated. That is the goal. Look for isolated targets. You'll do a lot better. Don't just team fight 24/7. Your hero is not the best team fighter. You should probably pick Ember Spirit or like Storm Spirit in that case. But all right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.